Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something that is honestly truly fascinating. You see, the 2026 World Cup isn't just a massive sporting tournament anymore. It is quietly becoming this massive, live-action blueprint for the entire future of global society. We're going to dive right into how this single event is acting as a massive proving ground for literally everything, from complex international human rights frameworks all the way down to cutting-edge real-time AI. So we'll be taking a macro to micro journey today. Number 1 is the ultimate proving ground. 2, protecting the human element. 3, tactical AI on the pitch. 4, translating global voices. And finally, number 5, the future of mega events. All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the ultimate proving ground, scaling the game. I mean, just look at these numbers. We've got 48 teams competing in 104 matches across 16 different cities, spanning Canada, Mexico, and the United States. To put that into perspective for a second, that is basically like coordinating an entire Olympic Games, but spreading it across an entire continent. When you have a footprint this massive, touching 3 totally different national jurisdictions, having robust frameworks and advanced tech isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's absolutely critical to keeping a whole operation from falling apart. Moving right along to Section 2, protecting the human element, the FWC 26 framework. So to actually handle this massive physical reality, FIFA and its partners developed what they call the FWC 26 Human Rights Framework. And this isn't just your standard, generic corporate PR pledge. It is explicitly guided by established international standards from the UN, the International Labor Organization, and the OECD. The ultimate goal here? To guarantee safe, inclusive environments addressing really complex issues, everything from housing displacement to the welfare of unsheltered populations in these host cities. The crucial takeaway here is the sheer depth of these rules. Every single one of the 16 host cities is required to build its own tailored action plan. We are talking about highly targeted, granular actions, things like trauma-informed human trafficking prevention, linguistically accessible survivor supports, and really strict, rights-respecting security protocols. It's an incredibly detailed layer of social governance literally draped over a soccer tournament. And this brilliantly illustrates how the framework protects the entire supply chain by detailing distinct, rigorous protections based on the type of worker you are. For direct employees, the focus is heavily on fair wages that actually provide a decent living, predictable scheduling, and strict protections for unionizing. But for migrant workers, it tackles their specific vulnerabilities head-on. It expressly prohibits recruitment fees, ensures workers keep their physical IDs so their movement isn't restricted, and mandates free legal representation. The big takeaway? It's a highly practical approach to human rights that honestly sets a new gold standard for global supply chains going forward. Okay, let's zoom in a bit for Section 3, tactical AI on the pitch, decoding the data. Enter Football AI Pro to help coaching staff manage the vast, staggering amounts of event and tracking data generated in modern football. FIFA actually introduced this entirely bespoke tool developed in close cooperation with Lenovo. Instead of analysts just drowning in raw data, this system acts as an advanced post-match assistant. It translates thousands of tiny data points into highly actionable tactical recommendations and structured reports. It totally bridges the gap between raw, messy data and actual, usable coaching intelligence. Now, if you know anything about AI, you know a massive problem is hallucinations. You know, when an AI just confidently makes things up out of thin air. Well, at the center of this architecture is the knowledge retrieval step. It specifically grounds the AI in verified historical match situations before it generates a single insight. It ingests data using the official FIFA football language, categorizing things precisely into build-ups, pressing, or transitions. It's designed to augment human analysts with actual facts, not replace them with automated guesswork. Let's zoom in even further down to the individual fanfare section. 4. Translating global voices, the Gemini 3.5 era. This brings us right to consumer technology. Google is actually using the World Cup as a massive proving ground for Live Translate, which is powered by their next-generation AI model, Gemini 3.5. And what makes this revolutionary is that it's a speech-to-speech tool. It completely bypasses text conversion. It directly translates spoken audio across over 70 languages. But, and here's the crazy part, it keeps the speaker's original vocal identity, their intonation, their emotion, their tempo. Just imagine ordering food or asking for transit directions in a completely foreign country without ever having to awkwardly hand a phone back and forth to read text. But we do need to impartially report the current limitations here. Google explicitly acknowledges that voice reproduction is not always perfectly consistent yet. Because of this, the feature won't just be available to every single fan right at kickoff. Instead, you can expect a more gradual rollout across Google Translate, Pixel devices, and their enterprise tools over the coming months. And there's an obvious flip side to preserving vocal identity, right? Impersonation. If AI sounds exactly like you, how do we know what's actually real? To fight back against deepfakes, Google is embedding a digital watermark called SynthID into all of its generated audio. It's totally inaudible to human ears, but it allows dedicated detection tools to retroactively verify if the speech was, in fact, AI generated. It's also really vital to note the privacy implications here. Users absolutely must exercise caution with their conversational data. Services like Gemini integrated within Google Messages currently do not feature end-to-end encryption. So the big takeaway here, as we use AI to seamlessly blur language barriers, be very mindful of the personal information you're speaking out loud into these apps. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, the future of mega events, a blueprint for tomorrow. Stepping back to look at the big picture, it becomes incredibly clear that this tournament is acting as a massive live test lab for modern society. We are testing deeply tailored human rights frameworks for vulnerable populations on a continental scale. We're testing complex, fact-grounded sports AI, and we are testing real-time voice-preserving consumer AI that could genuinely change how humanity interacts across language barriers. So, as this massive 104-match blueprint unfolds across North America, it leaves us with one critical question to ponder today. Will the integration of advanced AI and these incredibly strict socio-political frameworks actually make global mega events better and safer for everyone involved, or will they simply make them infinitely more complex to manage? I guess we're about to find out. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.